favorite take on the Civil War. My favorite, right? And this was a really cool idea that was presented in a book that actually isn't about the Civil War, but it's an interesting concept. It's the rise of oil and how it changed the nature of work, right? Before you were talking about manpower in the terms of how many people, like the old joke, how many slaves does it take to turn on a light bulb? There's an act, the undercurrent truth to that is, right? When we're talking about the way of life we live, it takes a lot of power to make that work. If you really sit there and think about it.
Yeah.
Well, oil made it accessible in theory to everybody, except, and the people that were fighting it, right, were people that had a very old way of using power, and that was slavery, right? So if you look at the Civil War as a precursor to the start of the Industrial Revolution, because of the nature of how power was changed, that's a much more interesting look at the Civil War than Abraham Lincoln the fight versus General Lee and like this battle of blah 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 and like and right now that's not.
And also in that look, you kind of see the same conversations that have been had, you know, from any time that there has been some new technology introduced, is every time it's changing the workforce. And you've seen it, like the same conversations that we're having now with artificial intelligence, with the same conversations they were having then with, you know, anything involving the Industrial Revolution replacing human jobs.
Yeah, no, it's the same conversation in a lot of ways. It's the same conversation in a lot of ways. We can do more toys now, and I mean, in some cases, I think in terms of today, I think it's going to be a lot more cultural based, right? Because, I mean, like I've seen artificial intelligence be the lawyer in court. I mean, you know, and you know that if an artificial intelligence can be a lawyer in court, we're probably screwed. Just honestly, if they can bullshit better than we can, we probably have a problem. But the digression on that is. The digression on that though it gives away the fact that we're talking about the same things like how is wealth created, how are people going to function going forward, and it's still a unknown frontier, which is why these conversations and these old fears recycle all over again, right?
Yes, it's the fear of the unknown over and over again. It boils down to that.